Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today let's talk about Louis Vuitton Monogram and if I am over it and do I now think it's basic. This video came to mind when I watched a video from Dale from Dale's Addiction talking about whether or not she is entering her quiet luxury trend and moving away from logos. And when I was watching the video, it made me think about what I have been buying myself. And the reality is I haven't really been buying very much monogram for a while. And I have always been a staunch defender of Louis Vuitton and a defender of Louis Vuitton Monogram. I love Louis Vuitton Monogram. I absolutely do not think that it is basic. I have put out a video before talking about how Louis Vuitton is not basic, and I get quite annoyed whenever people attack Louis Vuitton Monogram and attack people that buy and wear monogram for being trashy or logos or basic and all of those words that are not very complimentary, and look down on the monogram. And I don't really like that, because I think firstly it's everybody's choice what we choose to wear, and I personally love the monogram. I think it's one of the classic prints. I don't mind a logo, shocking I know, and therefore the Louis Vuitton on the monogram, the LV, doesn't bother me at all. But on reflecting on what I have been buying, I had to kind of own up to myself that I haven't really been buying monogram for quite some time. I used to have, and this is another aspect that made me really think about this, is that how much I have downsized the amount of Louis Vuitton Monogram bags that I have in my collection. And I used to have the Louis Vuitton Nano Speedy in monogram. I had the Palm Springs Mini, which is the mini backpack, in monogram. I had the Papillon trunk in monogram, which I still have, which is this one. This is now the only crossbody Louis Vuitton bag that I have left, whereas I used to have those three and I used to wear them a lot more regularly, and I used to wear the monogram crossbody as a casual bag a lot more regularly. And not only do I have to accept that I have sold the other two and they're no longer in my collection, I also have to accept that I probably don't wear this as much anymore. I don't really wear my crossbody monogram bags as much as I used to. And I think it's because, not that I no longer love the monogram, I still love the monogram. I think part of it is because the Louis Vuitton Monogram was the first aspect of luxury at this level that I really got into. And I got into it hard. And I absolutely fell for it. And I still use, this is my first Neverfull that I bought many years ago that has been replaced with the exact same bag. I still use the Neverfull every single day to work, and it is in the monogram. So like, it's massive. I couldn't not love the monogram because I'm walking about with a huge massive part of it over me every day as a big walking billboard for Louis Vuitton. So I still love it, and I use the Neverfull every single day because it's so functional and I think it's a great work bag. I still use my Louis Vuitton Agenda, which is actually downstairs in the work bag. That still comes with me every day, and that is in monogram. Another bag that I use very regularly is the Louis Vuitton Petite Malle in the monogram. I have 3 Petite Malles. This is by far my most used. I absolutely love this. I love the iconic monogram on it. It goes with so much. I think this is edgy. It's a vibe. I've waxed lyrical about this bag before. So I do still often use the Neverfull every day. This, which is, I think, a special piece. I think this is very iconic, and I think the hard nature of it and the trunk-like of it, the hardware, the clutch, makes this iconic and makes it something different and a bit of a statement. I don't use this one as much, and I still love this. I love that this has the trunk features to it. It has this to make it look like a trunk. It has this chain that hangs from it. It has the thick strap on it. I still love this. And out of the 3 bags that I did have, this was by far my favourite. But I don't use it very much. And it's not because I don't love this as a bag or as a trunk. I absolutely do. I think it's a fabulous, fabulous bag. I am not getting rid of this. But I think the reason I don't use this very much is when I am looking for a casual crossbody bag, I go to the monogram so much less. And I wear these as that crossbody bag so much less. Part of it, I think, will be, as I have said, the Louis Vuitton Monogram was my first love into this. So I have been wearing the Monogram for a very, very long time. I first bought the Neverfull 12 years ago. So that has been with me for a very, very long time. I use the Agenda every day. I still use my toiletries anytime I travel. I use this when I go out. But I have kind of moved on, I suppose, if I'm going to be brave and address it, from the everyday casual Louis Vuitton bags. And I imagine that a part of that is because I have accepted and embraced my love for colour. The Monogram is obviously brown. Brown is not my favourite colour. I love wearing bright colours. And when I'm wearing casual everyday crossbody bags, I definitely go for colour a lot. I will go for the pinks, for the purples, for the brightness, for the fabrics, for the sequenced. And they make me smile more than the everyday casual Louis Vuitton type bags, if I'm completely honest. I think that it's the colour that draws me to those. It will also be because for a very long time when I could start buying luxury and was buying some of the Monogram, I couldn't afford to buy these. I couldn't afford to buy the Chanel Minis. I couldn't afford to buy the Capucines. I couldn't afford to buy the bright colours and the leather bags because generally they are priced more expensive than the canvas. So I've been wearing the canvas crossbody for a lot longer. And I think part of it is that I have done that for so long that I'm definitely not getting rid of these, but I've maybe moved on to wanting something a little bit different and wanting to wear that little bit of colour and that little bit of a pop and something that little bit more unusual than what the Monogram is. Also, there hasn't been that many new Monogram designs that have come out that I have absolutely loved and adored and thought I have to have that bag. The closest was probably the side trunk. I do think that's very cool and edgy. I haven't bought it yet, and I doubt if I was going to buy it, it would be in the Monogram, because I think when I would be wearing it, I would wear this. And I think that those would have the same purpose. Now I know I have a lot of pink bags and they have the same purpose. But in my mind, I just know because I'm wearing less Monogram in that way that I'm not going to have enough use to wear both of these, and that one of them is going to sit on the shelf and they're too expensive for that. So there hasn't been that many of them that has really, really tempted me. The Loop Hobo bag is one that has, but that is a very different style of bag. Big, slouchy. I imagine wearing that crossbody, throwing everything in it over a coat or going to work with a laptop. If it fits, I'd have to check that. That is a different style, and that is another one of the bags that have tempted me. But a lot of the releases in Monogram haven't really had something unique enough about them to make me want to buy them. And that comes on to another point that I think buys into this. And I think I have been buying and collecting luxury bags for so long and have such a collection of them now that I think that when I go into store, I'm probably looking for the bags that are somewhat different. Dale, I am fairly sure, described them in her video as the treasures. The bags that are just a bit unique and that look different to everything else. And I think because I've been buying it for so long and have so much Monogram, that generally when I go to look for those bags, it's something different that's getting my attention, and it's something that's not Monogram that's calling me and that's making me think, ooh. Now I did really like the camera bag, and that has Monogram and reverse Monogram on it. I thought that was very edgy and cool, and I was tempted to buy that one. So I am not saying to you that I will never buy another Monogram crossbody bag. Definitely not. I think I probably will, but there's going to be less of them, and it's going to have to be one that absolutely bowls me over, and there has to be something about it that's different and unique to make me buy it. Now I am not, absolutely not, turning my back on Louis Vuitton or on the Monogram. As I say, the Neverfull every day. One of my absolute favourites. The accessories that are still in my Neverfull are all Monogram. I just think that I have maybe reached a point, which is very fortunate, that I have so much of it that I'm not drawn to buy that much more of it, and that I don't feel a need to buy that much more of it. It was a bit like when the toiletry trio came out and I made a video talking about this. I didn't buy that because I have the toiletries. And although I really like the bright colours in the inside of those, and I like the colours down the side of them, the leather inserts, I don't need to replace the Monogram ones that are sitting over there. So I think that's part of it as well, that when you've bought a lot of this what really is different to attract you to spend the money to buy more. And I am not a collector in the sense that I need to buy and collect every piece of monogram that has ever been released or every new edition that Louis Vuitton comes out with. Absolutely not. And I think that also ties into the fact that what's coming out now, being repetitive, not being a collector, are things that I don't really feel the need to add to my collection. I definitely wouldn't say I'm entering a quiet era. I still love the colours, I still love the sequins, I still love the sparkles, I still love the logos. I'm definitely more in the colour era. I think that becoming confident enough in myself and my own choices and my own loves has made me more confident buying colour. Because when you first start buying designer bags, and I've talked about this in advice videos about when you start buying these, there is a kind of incentive to play it a bit safer, and obviously to start at the lower price, which canvas normally is, not the petite malle, but the canvas bags are normally slightly less expensive than the leather bags. And also to buy what you know and have seen, and you will know and see monogram a lot more. And that was an aspect for me. And getting to accept the colours that I love, the sequins that I love, the fabrics that I love, and actually spending the very, very, very high amounts of money on those took me a while. It took me a while to kind of build up to that. It took me a while to be able to get over the fact that some of these are very, very expensive, and to spend that amount of money in one go. It also took me a while to be working more, earning more, get into a different financial position to be able to buy those. And that also then probably made me have already bought the monogram and move on to those. So I do think there's a part of that financially moving forward. I do think there's a part of what you already have in your collection. But I also do think there's a part of gaining confidence in yourself and knowing what you love and what speaks to you and buying it and owning the love of colour, because you will watch a lot of videos that will say don't buy bright colours as your first 5 bags, and you know, be careful with colours, they don't hold well in the resale market, etc, etc, etc. I've made videos talking about the opposite of that and how I've made mistakes like that in the past, and they are on my channel. But knowing what I loved basically and getting more confident to buy it went to this type of level. And Meredith's talked about this as well whenever she was talking about the vlog sale that she has upcoming, that some of the pieces that are going to be going are pieces that she needed at that stage of her life, and she's kind of moved on from that now. And that's what that happens. You move on in your life where your children are at. Even if it's not children, you also move on just in your own buying habits and what you get comfortable with buying. And for me, it's been sparkles and colour. For Meredith, there's a lot more exotics coming into her collection now because she's kind of moving on from the pieces that she already has a lot of. And that, I think, ties into why you're seeing, certainly on my channel, less monogram canvas being unboxed and shown. It's certainly not that I don't love it. I will always love this print. This canvas will always be one of my absolute favourites. I will always carry that Neverfull. I will always carry this. There will always be bits of it that are just so true to my heart and I adore. In no way do I think it's basic. In no way do I think that it's a lesser alternative to these. It's slightly more accessible price point, but it's certainly not lesser. So in no way have I got over it or I'm past it or no longer love it. I just think for all of those reasons, for what I have and where I've moved to, that I'm buying less of it and that I'm coming out of that phase of buying of my life and more into these. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we change, we evolve. I, for one, knowing my personal style, and there will be people that have a full collection of Louis Vuitton Monogram, that's everything they own and have and love. And I think if that's what you love, that's fabulous, and buy it because it's a fabulous, fabulous canvas. My love of colour though, I love colour so much that if all of that wall behind me was monogram canvas, I don't think it would work for me. And I think I would struggle with it. So I think it's owning up to what you love and buying the collection that works for you. So that is where I'm at with my bag buying habits, and more specifically with the Louis Vuitton Monogram and the canvas. Certainly I am not jumping on that bandwagon of dissing it and not loving it. I think it's fabulous. But for all of those reasons, I think I've just got to the point where I'm buying less of it. And I'm probably on certain occasions wearing less of it, apart from the ones I've discussed. Where are you at with this? What do you think of the canvases and the monogram? Let me know in the description box. Do you think that it's still your first love, or are you moving past it? Or have you never really loved the monogram? A lot of people it will be too logoed for. Let me know in the comment box. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have enjoyed this little chit chat and self-reflection, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not done with me yet, I'm going to leave another video for you on the screen to enjoy. And if you haven't yet, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching me. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.